There's plenty of wealth in America. It's just not being distributed now in the way it should be and the way it was. But Fannie Lou Hamer wasn't just sick and tired. She said she was sick and tired of being sick and tired. What that meant is that Fannie Lou Hamer understood it's time to organize. Whether it was Joe Hill, don't mourn and organize, don't whine, don't organize, whether it was Mother Jones, educate, agitate, and organize, Fannie Lou Hamer should be an inspiration to all of us. And every person who isn't as well known as Fannie Lou Hamer is should be an inspiration to all of us. Every one of our members who goes out and works should be an inspiration to all of us, because besides being sick and tired, I'm inspired. I'm inspired by what's gone on in Wisconsin, Ohio, Idaho, all those places where people are fighting back. In Egypt and Tunisia, I'm inspired by that. I'm inspired by groups like Jaws with Justice. I'm inspired by the Congressional Progressive Caucus that actually put out a budget called the People's Budget, which is pretty damn good. We hear about the Republican budget. We get the president's budget, which frankly is the best thing he's done in quite some time. I'm serious, it's not that bad, but it sure ain't that good either. But we got a people's budget that actually is focused on doing it the way that the population wants. I'm inspired by the fact that the American public, in poll after poll, do not support union busting. They do not support cuts in education. They do not support cuts in really important public programs. They want higher taxes on corporations. They want higher taxes on millionaires. They don't want to pay more, and they shouldn't pay more, because the numbers are clear that they've paid all they can and more than they should. The American public is with us, and that inspires me. And I am really inspired by things I've seen in Oregon. I am inspired by all the people I've met who are educators in Oregon, who go to work every day still determined to make magic happen. It is unbelievable the way you and your colleagues put up with it. And as you heard from Walt last night, there's a whole lot of folks who say, we're not going to just we're going to keep doing it, but we're not going to do it with a smile on our face anymore. We're going to make it clear to everybody that this can't go on any longer. But you inspire me, and you inspire lots of people with what you try to do every day. I'm inspired by the Mount Hood Local that's putting up a great fight. I'm inspired by the Tigard Tualatin Local and their struggle. I'm inspired by McMinnville, what McMinnville's done, and all of the rest of your locals that are fighting back at the bargaining table and reaching out into the community and making a difference in the conversation. I am inspired by that. I'm inspired by this story I heard of this little girl who was sitting down drawing a picture. Her teacher comes up to her and says, well, what are you drawing? And she says, I'm drawing God. And her teacher really, very gently said, well, no one knows what God looks like. And the little girl says, but they will when I finish this picture. That little girl inspires every one of you every day. And that little girl underscores what this really interesting British education reformer, Sir Ken Robinson, says is wrong with schools. Killing creativity. That little girl's got imagination. Every one of you have students with amazing imaginations that play out in so many different ways, and you are fighting like hell to keep those imaginations alive and growing forward. And I'm inspired by that, and we can't let it go. We have the potential to be better. As Gail and Hannibal said, from good to great. This is a really, really good organization. I have been inspired by the staff of this organization. Amazing work done by everybody who works at this organization in headquarters and in offices around the state. They are amazing. But we will guarantee that as this unfolds, and certainly as we get into next fall, we will organize purposeful, intentional meetings and conversations all across the state so that every one of you and your members can be part of a conversation that helps us set a clear direction for building our power, to making sure that our ideas for how our schools should be structured and run are the ideas that dominate the public discourse and the ideas that are implemented in every school across this state and ideas that every elected official embraces because they are right. Everything is on the table. The structures that we have are on the table. The way in which we align our resources is on the table. But fundamentally, we need members to step up and take responsibility for sharing their ideas. We will do everything we can to support the unleashing of creativity and imagination, the unleashing of dreams. We want our members' dreams to become the driving force of the union. We will do the best work, as we always have, in defending wages and benefits and moving those forward, but we want the members' dreams about what a classroom looks like, what teaching looks like, what the profession looks like and feels like when you live it, to drive the union forward. Our focus should be on creating great schools and pushing aside anyone who won't welcome us to the table and anyone whose ideas are ideas that we know undermine quality teaching and education for our students. They get one chance at education. We're not going to let Broad and Gates and Stand and elected officials who don't have the balls to do the right thing to get in our way. But we need to shift as an organization. The strategic action plan will be the way that we do this. We need all of you to be part of this process. There will be so many layers to it. We will move quickly, and we will be back to you for sure next year with even more detail that we're asking you to officially endorse to represent the new direction for the organization. When Frederick Douglass said, "Power concedes nothing without demand, and if there is no struggle, there is no progress," and Margaret Mead reminds us to never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change everything. It's the only thing that ever has. And when Cesar Chavez says we have a kind of power that comes from the justice of our cause, they are all right. So the question for you all is, can we dream together? Can we grow big and powerful ideas, wonderful ideas together? Yes. Can we plan and change together? Can we act together to build this righteous power? Yes. Can we change our schools, our communities, and change Oregon together? Yes. That's it. Thank you all, and I'm so glad to be in Oregon.